Welcome to the May 2025 Water Resources Outlook from the Southeast River Forecast Center. Since our last outlook, rainfall was infrequent in location and amounts until recently, which led to dryness expanding in many areas. Haley and I are here to tell you about how the spring rainfall and stream flows have been progressing and what we can look forward to in the Southeast. Let's hop right into our observed rainfall. Over the last 30 days, we observed a quarter inch in some places in South Georgia and upwards to 10 to 14 inches near Vidalia, Georgia, and in parts of Alabama and North Georgia. While there were a few frontal systems that provided a convective environment to lead to this, majority of the rainfall was due to a lingering cold front whose low eventually cut off near coastal Alabama and pumped moisture into the southeast before moving across the area this past weekend. In the 30-day departure shown here, that rainfall was beneficial to the southeast and provided widespread 4 inches and above normal for the period. Although this is short-term relief, these accumulations came at a much-needed time for the southeast and was able to produce runoff that led to a few moderate river floods. So now we are full swing into the spring. How does our rainfall departure for the year look? Well, we are near normal across most of the southeast. Areas of below and above normal are present, with northeast Mississippi and Alabama ranging from 1 to 4 inches above normal. In the most recent drought monitor, only Florida and coastal areas of the Carolinas are seeing moderate or severe drought. Widespread drought conditions only remain in Florida, where 2% of the area is experiencing extreme drought. Generally, across the southeast, abnormal dryness is the most significant drought condition. The weekly drought monitor is influenced by recent rainfall, and when we look at the change in the drought from our last WRO to today, there have been widespread improvements. Above normal weekly rainfall totals from the past week rid most of the Carolinas and eastern Georgia of drought. In Florida, week-to-week improvements and degradations have occurred, leading to the 1-month change in conditions mostly remaining the same or degrading. We are now in a period for the southeast where rainfall is often convection-based and amounts vary from location to location, leading to runoff declines and flooding being less common. So I want to review where each state is in terms of runoff as current. As likely expected from where rainfall has been the greatest this year, Alabama has been the most stable in terms of normal runoff. Georgia is the only other state to have maintained normal runoff through the winter and into the spring. The rain events have been so widespread that at least one river system in the state has received rainfall with each event. Following the snow and rain events earlier in the year, Virginia and North Carolina have been dry, and the 28-day runoff has been consistent at below normal. In South Carolina, the recent rains have been significant in keeping runoff from falling into much below normal. In Florida, the 28-day runoff is starkly declining to the lowest percentile classes and reaching the lowest it has for this time of year since 2020. We don't reach the rainfall season for Central and South Florida until August, so dryness from La Nina winter and a weak positive North American oscillation are likely to keep a limit on rainfall for the peninsula for a bit longer. I will discuss later in the long-term seasonal precipitation outlook for the Southeast, but for now, I'll hand it off to Haley to discuss the upcoming weather pattern we expect.
Rounding out this week, we are exiting the recent wet pattern that settled over the southeast. A little bit of rain still lingers in parts of North Carolina and Virginia, but overall the bulk of the southeast will remain dry for the rest of today. Friday, high pressure to our south will be the main driver of our weather, keeping the region free from much rain at all, other than maybe just parts of the mountains of the Carolinas and Virginia. Heading into the weekend, a system moving over the Great Lakes will be dragging a front south and east towards the region, giving some areas a chance to see showers and storms. Generally, these areas stretch from the Appalachian regions of the Carolinas and Georgia into northern Alabama and Mississippi. By Sunday, that front will have pushed further into the southeast, but will lose its connection to the better moisture supply, so it's starting to dry out some by the time it makes it to our region. Chances for showers and storms Sunday are largely confined to Alabama and Mississippi, maybe extending a little far into far eastern Georgia. Meanwhile, another system taking shape over the plains will start to lift this front Monday, keeping it and any resulting rain chances from getting too far into the southeast. Rain chances will mainly be in areas closer to the boundary in northern Georgia and Alabama. And this same setup basically continues into Tuesday as well as the system moves further east, though rain chances are lower than the day before. Wednesday, the system is moving into the upper Midwest, dragging the front further east as well. This will bring more appreciable rain chances for showers and storms to a greater portion of the southeast. Looking at the overall rainfall forecast for the next 7 days, you can see the lack of heavy rain expected over much of the region. Florida in particular is expected to remain dry. Those who will see the most rain in the southeast will be mainly in parts of northern Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. And shifting focus to the longer term, most of the region is expected to see near normal rainfall according to the latest Climate Prediction Center outlook. However, eastern North Carolina and Virginia have slight chances for above normal precipitation. Also, the Florida Peninsula is shown as having chances for below normal rainfall through the period, not giving much hope for drought relief over that area.
Thanks, Haley, for covering the rest of May. Though recent weather has continued to have a bit of a La Niña feel, as we near closer to summer, neutral conditions are still expected to take over. The precipitation outlook for June only leans slightly above normal, with models having a weak signal for the entire eastern portion of the U.S. INSO remains neutral, and there is a 74% chance of neutral through the summer. Neutral continues to be the most likely scenario through the winter, although La Niña is a close second. Model guidance is indicating that atmospheric circulations may favor Atlantic moisture transport into the southeast in July, August, and September. And this is leading to the prediction of above normal rainfall for this period across the southeast. As we get into the fall, INSO neutral and La Niña predictions begin to compete a bit, and in the model guidance. This overall is indicating that there could be a shift in the atmospheric circulations impacting the southeast. Things may become more clear as we progress through the year, but for now, we're looking at equal chances of above or below normal precipitation for October, November, and December. So, the bottom line, in the short term, we're expecting near normal rainfall across the southeast. But the dry trend for Florida may continue until June, when all of the southeast is predicted to see slightly above normal rainfall. In the long term, as we settle into INSO neutral, there will be less influence on atmospheric circulations, but conditions may favor tropical transport into the southeast before the atmospheric pattern shifts again. Everyone can look out for the release of the National Hurricane Center's Atlantic Basin Hurricane Outlook later this month, and we'll meet you back here on June 12th for our next Water Resources Outlook.